What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff the AltCoin Buzz. Today, we're going to talk about having the right or the correct viewpoint and outlook for the market in all weather conditions, right? Being prepared mentally and emotionally is really important, especially investing in cryptocurrency in a highly volatile market that goes up and goes down. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about bipolar, right? So bipolar means that if you get really excited, that means you're on that one side of the pole, right? That polar opposite of depressed. And then, so you get really high highs and really low lows. That's called bipolar. But if you can middle ground it and keep a more focused approach, that's kind of what we're aiming for. Now, that comes with practice and it comes with experience and wisdom. And that's just basically what we're aiming for in this video, is getting the right mentality, but also looking at the things that are going to potentially hold us back as individuals, and the movement, right? So I put it out there on our Twitter, on my Twitter today. I said the next level of strong support for this market, by my estimation, is about $190 billion market cap and 6 to 7K Bitcoin. That's just what the charts are indicating. If you take a look here, you can see 6,624. That's kind of this low point here. And if we go to this chart, you can see for Bitcoin where that is in the technical analysis aspect of it. If you just drill down to the 3-month chart, you can see this right here is another low point. But we'll just say that the next area of resistance is going to be around here, right? Okay. It could even be 5,849. So it's basically $6,000 to $7,000 is going to be where our next level of Bitcoin support is. And then if we go here to the market cap, that next level of support is going to be right around here, right? You can see we're kind of flat in that range. So that's really our next level of support, because we've already broken this, right? We haven't broken this yet, but we'll probably breeze right through there at $281 billion. If this thing keeps going, it won't find much support at this level. It is a support level, but I don't see it being a strong support like this here at $190 billion or $200 billion, really. So what can we do as investors in this particular situation, especially if we bought at all-time highs? Now, in my case, I put my initial investment in September, and if you go back to September, right? So just in September, when I first started really putting money in, it was at $134 billion market cap, and it was fluctuating. I also invested back in July, so there was a strong period in late June, early July timeframe is when I invested, and that was when I first got into Ethereum pretty heavy. But just in September timeframe, right, is when I really started to daily inject fiat into cryptocurrency, and I did that probably from September all the way through till December, really. And I've continued to do it even at these levels, because I was so in the habit of injecting fiat. Even as we were climbing, I was mostly buying altcoins, so I'd buy Bitcoin and inject and put it into altcoins. Now, in the back of my head, I really didn't see too many great buys. That's why if you watch many of our videos, I was always talking about getting new coins that just hit the market. I was really big on that, because I was like, well, heck, man, all these coins are sky high, so let's go look at coins that just hit the market. That was kind of my mentality in doing that. But if we just take it all the way beyond just the market, right, and we look at our contribution as investors and people participating in this market, number one, you have to be flexible. You cannot forget about the importance of flexibility. So just like how we have Ethereum was let's take it back to Bitcoin. Just like how Bitcoin was the first coin, right? And then there came altcoins, alternative coins to Bitcoin. So you had Litecoin and some of these other coins that came out on the market as altcoins, and some of these other no-name coins that are buried down there in the bottom. But now there's what, 1,500 altcoins over 1,500 altcoins to Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum was the first decentralized application developer platform, which is essentially like iOS or Android, right? But now you have more than just iOS and Android. You have Neo, you have Lisk, you have Cardano, and you have Qtum, and the list goes on with application developer platforms. And we just keep seeing more and more. We've got some even down the bottom like Rise. And so with all that being said, you even have a new dynamic coming into play where blockchain might not just be the bee's knees. Now it's going to be like Hashgraph. Who's to say that Tangle Ledger, maybe Tangle Ledger is the one that gets caught in the middle, but Hashgraph is all of a sudden gaining a lot of momentum as a alternative to block size and block scaling, you know, and speed and transactions and efficiency. So if you get married to one coin like Bitcoin or one decentralized application developer platform like Ethereum, you could be overlooking some of the gains that can happen with these new alternatives to those specific dynamics that take place. And one of the things I wanted to say about the overall market and your approach is holding yourself accountable, right? So you have to look at it. That's a very powerful mindset to undertake. Instead of saying like, well, the government's not feeding me, so I need my food stamps. Where's my food stamps? And then banging your hands on the door saying, where's the food stamps? No, what you do is you go out there and you get the money to get the food for yourself, right? It's no one else's. You can't blame the government for everything. You can't blame everyone for everything, right? And I used to have that same problem when I was younger, and it took a couple older people who are now my age, telling my young goofy butt that, dude, do you ever accept responsibility for anything you do, right? And I used to resist it, but then I got to the point where I was like, okay, all right, what exactly happens is when you accept responsibility for yourself. And that's when you really evolve from a young boy to a man, okay? It's, you know, taking accountability. And I'm not trying to pick on anyone who's young and doesn't fully have that maturity yet, but what I'm saying is you should be aspiring to get that sooner than later. And so if you make an investment, it's your decision. Superman or myself or Data Dash, no one's sitting there at your computer, because I've never met you or myself, telling you to buy any coins, right? We're not saying buy a coin. We're sharing our opinions about a coin that we're excited about, and you watch a video and you make that decision. So it's important that you understand that no one's sitting there with a gun over your head saying, buy this coin now. Even with the BitConnect stuff, truth be told, if you invested in BitConnect, that was because you got excited, because you got greedy and you watched Trayvon James showing you his $1 million in his account, or Craig Grant. Maybe they preyed on your emotions, but at the end of the day, you're the one who decided to follow and try to, you know, get 500 times gains or whatever the case may be, right? So but even taking it one step back, it's the accountability. And this is why, I'll tell you straight up, okay? I invest more in Asian projects than I do in Western projects. And I'll tell you why. Because, now this is kind of a little bit political, but America in particular has become a welfare state. And in China, the reason that almost everything in your house is made in China is because they have manpower and work ethic. And in the West, we want everyone to cater to us and wait on us hand and foot. And so it kind of evolved that way, where we built that mentality. But now I'm saying, no, we're going to have to take accountability. We're going to have to bring it back home. We're going to have to build it ourselves now. We're going to have to get the work ethic, and we're going to have to learn what it's like to put in a 12-hour day. And that's the mindset that I'm bringing to cryptocurrency, is saying, like, take that hustler's mentality, bring back, it's got to be cool again to be a good person and to be a hard worker or a hustler, right? So you got to learn to hustle, and you got to learn to have ethics and integrity. And ethics and integrity is more than just, buying a hot dog for a homeless person. It goes beyond that into a lot of different areas, and it expands beyond that. And why am I doing this rant? To talk to you guys about cryptocurrency, because when you bring about this mindset, you're mentally preparing yourself for ups and downs in life, because you have the right principles in place. And that's what it all comes down to, is having the proper principles to do the right thing and make educated decisions correctly, right? And so if we just take a look at all this stuff on Twitter here, I even said either the altcoin army is maturing their mindset on investing in the future, or a whole gang of wise investors started following altcoin buzz. Either way, this is encouraging when investors can see the bright side in a bull and bear market, right? So a lot of you, to your credit, are getting this incredibly mature mindset about cryptocurrency investing, where when the market goes down, you're thinking, well, what's the upside here? Like, what's the potential? What's the benefit to come? And I mentioned this in a couple other videos before, where I said a lot of people got very rich in bear markets, more so than got rich in bull markets. It's what you have to become is you have to, that you guys keep quoting Warren Buffett, and you guys can if you want. I don't think he likes cryptocurrency, but if you guys want to quote him, what is it? Be greedy when people are in fear, right? And, I don't even know the quote. It doesn't really matter. The second I heard it was from Buffett, I was like, okay. And nothing against Buffett is, well, I mean, the fact that he doesn't like cryptocurrency, I don't necessarily support him in cryptocurrency, but as an investor, he's one of the greatest investors of all time. So I'll say that. But really, yeah, I mean, are you guys looking for these opportunities that are going to come? Or are you guys trying to buy Lambos next month, right? And that whole Lambo mentality is cool. And I'll talk Lambos. I mean, if you guys ever worked with me in a work center or around me at all, you'll know I like to have fun at work. I like to tell jokes. I like to have fun. And part of that is like kind of playing around with the When Lambo crowd and all that. But when it comes down to it, like, no joke, you'll see we're in the trenches, we're working. Everyone's got a shovel in the hand, everyone got a shovel or a pick, and we're moving. Whistle while we work. And if you want to joke around, but you can joke around all you want. If you're the one shoveling away, all good, keep telling jokes. But if you're just standing there telling jokes like a jerky boy, then we're going to say something to you. So being talking heads is one thing, but putting your money where your mouth is, or getting down with the work, is kind of where I'm encouraging you all to go. Now, obviously, I realize probably 60% of you out there already know this, and I apologize if you feel like I'm ranting towards you, because I'm not. I'm talking to the young people out there who are really needing to hear this, not because they're bad people or in the wrong, but because they need to hear this to mature so that they don't get so emotionally attached or physically ill when the market goes down, right? It's a matter of preparation. It's just like in the military with boot camp. I don't know if you guys have ever watched those things about, I don't know, like butts, for example, in the Navy. That's Navy SEAL training. They take them out there, man. They'll drop you right in the cold water. You got to swim back for miles in the rain, in the cold. And the Pacific Ocean in San Diego is very cold, and you have to, people they're trying to break you, right? But all that's done, it's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So that's how you build character, and that's how you grow, and that's what life is all about. So it's how you deal with these adversities that are coming your way that are unfortunate and not I mean, I'm sure those guys who are at Buds would say, I'd rather not have to carry this log all the way out to the middle of the ocean and with 6 guys and it's freezing and do this while some guy's yelling at me and like my body is shaking from basically being exhausted. I'd rather just be a SEAL. But the training that goes into it says, no, you got to go through this training and prove you got the wits and the guts to get the reward of wearing that badge, which is, it's not all about the badge, but when you wear that Navy SEAL, pennant, that badge that on your chest, man, for some reason it's skipping my mind what it's called. Drop a comment if you know. I know what it's called. It'll go off in my head like, yeah, that's what it's called. But it's also about being prepared to do the job, because if, no joke, they called on you and they said you got to go in there and take out whoever, could you imagine being the guy who had to go in there and take out bin Laden, right? They're flying in, night ops, flying in, going to this place in Pakistan, in Islamabad or some city at night, 17 men going to take out the most wanted man in the world. Could you imagine getting the call to be the guy who's got to do that? Yeah, did that just send goosebumps and chills up and down your spine? It should. But they don't just send anybody in there to do that, because that's a covert operation, the best of the best. And what I'm saying is, put yourself in that mindset. Become the best of the best. Don't just sit around waiting for everyone else, the government, or blame the bankers for taking it down. It's like, what's your contribution? Don't just say that, law of attraction is at play. Law of attraction only works if you're willing to take the necessary steps. It's like, if we're building a road, the road, you can't just manifest that road into reality, right? Can you? No. You got to people actually have to get out there, wake up at 5 in the morning, drive the grader, drive the bulldozer, and build that road, and then start paving it. And that's taking like manpower, right? That's what I'm saying. So we need you guys to get in that mindset. Like, what's your contribution of manpower? Sometimes it's brain power, whatever. But you have to stop expecting everyone else to do it for you. Like I said, 60% of you guys out there either are going to agree with me and say, I'm glad you put this message out there because this is what I was thinking, or you're going to say, well, I didn't really need to hear this, but it was entertaining to listen to you talk to these guys. Okay? But anyways, I got nothing but love for you guys. It's not hate. It's saying, like, if you want to get better at things and stop having so many difficulties, these are the steps you got to take. You got to get real. You got to be serious. And you got to think calculated and pragmatically. And stop blaming other people. You can't blame the government. Can't blame the fudsters. Can't blame Trump. Can't blame McAfee. Can't blame Jeff. Can't blame Data Dash, Superman, anybody. Because it's you who's in control of your own destiny. And when you realize that, that's when you take the power back over your own life. Sure, there's going to be adversities, but if you are prepared to be able to overcome those, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So thanks, guys. This is Jeff with AltCoin Buzz. You can subscribe to this channel if you like, and you can click that bell to get notifications when we drop videos like this.